All right. Hello. All right. Good evening. So it's another episode of the live show when I answer questions and address some concerns and what have you that will help you to build your online business, build your presence online, and all those things. And of course, I just finished doing a live content workshop, and I had a wonderful time doing that. I had several guests, and we discuss, the things, especially on Facebook, that is helping to grow people's online following and their audience to help them to be able to get their message out. And it really doesn't matter what kind of business that you have or message you're trying to spread when it comes to Facebook and YouTube, especially when you are trying to create content, it takes time. And the thing that we realize in doing that is in being able to do that, having the ability to create live content is going to help you speed up the process. And that's really what we're going to address today. And I'm going to give you, excuse me, 5 tips that will help you create better Facebook and YouTube live videos. Excuse me. Of course. So live content is one of those things that has many benefits, as we addressed in the workshop earlier, is that you can produce the content very quickly. You do not have to edit, and you're able to interact and engage with the audience very quickly. So it has a lot of benefits for you as a content creator, especially if somebody who really wants the content and the information that you want to put out, right? Be able to get it out as quick as possible without editing it has just so many benefits, that because a lot of the times as creators, we want to edit, we want to proofread, we want to do all these different things. It slows up the production process and being able to get our message out. So just mastering the fact of being able to just create some live content. And I'm not speaking about the technology such as how to get graphics and all those things on the screen. There are many resources that you can use. You can just use your phone, click it, and start going. But primarily what I'm going to speak about is how to actually get more comfortable in front of the camera, and again, getting your message out, whatever it be, you're promoting your products, your services, or you have a message in that you're trying to promote. For example, in the Growth Summit that we did the other day, there was a lot of mental health. There was discussion about domestic abuse and so many topics that are not necessarily businesses, but being able to get that voice out, get the word out, is a benefit, and producing this content. So the first tip, or the first strategy I will tell you, is number one, know the topic that you're speaking about. Because if you know the topic that you are speaking about, it just makes producing content so much easier. Because it's one thing to dive into something that you really are not equipped to speak about. You're not familiar with it. You really don't know the topic very well. That makes it so much harder to produce content, because you're going to have to rehearse. You're going to have to read words and terms that you might not necessarily know. For example, I went to school for business, right? So, and I run a business. However, if I'm supposed to give a lecture about accounting, right, I'm going to have to read a lot of things. I'm going to have to present things that I'm not familiar with. I don't do it every single day. So being able to produce and promote and share information and content that you are familiar with is going to speed up your production. And it makes it so much easier for you to share this live. You don't really have to spend a lot of time rehearsing, because you are in that content, right? So the second thing, not only do you know that content, do you know the topic that you are speaking about, you are also enjoy speaking about that topic, right? Because it's one thing to know a topic, but it's also another thing to enjoy speaking about it. So for me, for example, I enjoy speaking about online business. I enjoy marketing. I enjoy numbers. I enjoy content creation, anything to do with helping a cause, such as helping a charity, helping a church, helping children, so many different topics such as that. Anything in those, football, American football, especially, those are topics that I enjoy speaking about, and it's very easy. I do not need any warning, any, preparation or anything. You tell me to go about those topics and I can start talking about them. One, because I know about them, and two, it's because I enjoy speaking about them. It's not a chore. It's one thing to really know your topic, but if you don't like speaking about it, it's going to be that much harder to share it to your audience, especially just going live. The third thing I would definitely say is plan it, but do not script it. right? You see, a lot of times, especially when you're first starting to produce some content, what you have a tendency to do is write down everything that you want to say. You don't want to forget something. You don't want to miss a point. You don't want to get distracted. You want to clearly communicate what you're saying. However, what ends up happening is if you script it, you sound very robotic and methodic. So let's say, okay, today what we are going to read is, you know, when you're speaking like that and you're reading off of a script, it really doesn't sound like you're having a conversation. And creating this live video, putting it out, being able to interact with your audience, it's really supposed to be conversational. That's why it's important to know what you're talking about, have a passion, some kind of excitement about that topic at hand, because at the end of the day, when you're communicating it, you have to be able to really share with your audience that you enjoy that topic and they feel you through the video. Right? It's very hard to just speak into a camera knowing you're not seeing any reactions, you're not seeing anybody. So to actually know these things and be able to share them with people, these are just some things that will help you. And when you're scripting it and you're reading a script, especially if you're somebody who doesn't always read scripts on a regular basis, like a news reporter or something, it's very hard and you do not sound natural, and you do not want that. The last thing you want to do is, you know, sound robotic and methodic, right? So yes, know the topic, enjoy the topic, and do not script it. You plan what you're going to say. You have a direction, you know, the major point that you want to make, the information that you want, and how do you stay on track with that? Now, if you haven't noticed, a lot of times when I'm doing my teachings, I'm doing my workshops, I'm doing my content, a lot of times my brain is all over the place, right? I just have one of those hyperactive brains when it comes to, especially when it comes to online. I always have the next thing I want to talk about, the next thing I want to look up. You know, if you look on my desktop, I have 50 windows open. I have tabs everywhere and all sorts of stuff. And that's how my mind works. So what helps me to keep on track, knowing how do I send my message, a clear message, without using or having my brain go all over the place? Well, the tip that I will present for that is to use bullet points, right? Use the different points to keep you on track. If you're somebody like me who's going to go all over the place and you're going to talk about different things, you're going to go left, right, up and down and all over the place, right? To have those numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to know exactly what the main message. Okay, the point is in this video is I want to give you some tips and some pointers that'll help you to create better content. As far as going live, it will make you, you know, produce this very quickly. And the benefit of that, of course, is that you do not have to edit it. You just go click, boom, and you address your audience directly, right? So now, the bullets are going to help you, because remember, this is something that you enjoy speaking about. So you're going to be able to go all over the place. You're going to be able to, you know, add to it as you feel passionate and you want to share something else and add on to it. Without the bullets, you will have a tendency now, because you're not going scripted, to go off track. You might lose your audience. You might end up in a story that you didn't even plan to go there, and somehow you ended up down that road, right? So when you have the bullets, it helps you to stay on track. So even if you go way off course, you just look back on the bullets and you see exactly where you're supposed to be going, right? And just a little bonus tip, which is not number 5, but number 4 still, is for the bullets. If you are, depending how comfortable you are, what kind of setup you have, if you have a cell phone, you might want to hold a piece of paper in a position that's off the camera. For example, a lot of times when I shoot live videos in a vehicle, I will put a list or a piece of cardboard or something with some points above the camera on the sunscreen. So that way I know, okay, these are the points I want to hit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I'm talking and going all over the place, every now and then I just glance back up at that, you know, piece of cardboard or whatever it is to get me back on track. In a setup such as this, where I'm in the studio, where I have a camera, I have my laptop, everything set up, what I actually have is I have I'm not going to take it down, but I have a piece of paper that is directly below the camera, right? So when I'm looking forward, I'm addressing you and I'm looking at you. However, right below the camera, I have my bullet points, my 5 points that I want to make. So no matter where I go, as I'm looking at you, as I'm sharing this information, I can connect and get back on track by just glancing down really quick right below the camera. And you're really not going to notice it because it is directly in the line of the camera, right? So it gets me back on track. And the last point that I'm going to make, as far as being able to produce this live content very quickly, very easily, and make it flow naturally. And again, this is not the tech, but it's to just do it. Do it a lot, right? You're just going to keep doing it. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. Because at the end of the day, it is, you know, the first time you do it, it's going to be terrible. There's no way around it. I mean, you know, I wish I could say it's going to be wonderful and this and that, but I'm just being very real with you. The first time you do it, it is not going to be very good. However, that is the worst one that you're going to do. The second one that you do is going to be the second worst one that you do. And each time you keep doing it, you get better and better and better. And you start to grow your audience. You start to grow confidence. You get more comfortable. And you know what? Before you know it, you could just get before the camera, no preparation, no nothing, no notes, no bullets, nothing, and just go. And you can share the information that you need to share, whether it be about your products, your services, or just whatever movement and cause that you're affiliated with. Because, you know, a lot of those things, those are some heavy topics. So, you know, domestic abuse, depression, anxiety, all those different things are very hard to speak about. But if this is something that you're comfortable with, you are used to going on camera, you can share this information, you know it, you like it, and you know, you just have the practice of doing it, the repetition, right? You do it over and over and over, it becomes second nature, and you just click go and audience just like that. It is a beautiful thing now to be able to do that, because the benefits of that is, of course, you do not have to edit. You do not have to take time to cut and copy and adjust this and adjust all those things. That slows down the production. And as a creator, as somebody that's trying to promote whatever business that you're doing, the time that you spend editing is time that you take away from your business and from the other works that you can create. So just being able to go live and address your audience is just a beautiful thing. So that is a very a quick rundown. I didn't go through any tech, any setups, anything that I have as far as what kind of technology I'm using or anything like that, because at the end of the day, it's not about the technology. It's not about the tools that you use. It's your communication with your audience. And whatever it is, again, products, services, a cause, it doesn't matter. Just being able to communicate that clearly and get that message to your audience is very important. And Facebook Live, YouTube Live, those are just wonderful tools that allows you to do that right now very quickly, easily, inexpensively, and you do not need to edit. So with that said, this show, it really, you know, I got that information out. I shared that information with you, and I was able to give you that tip. And now I do not have to sit down for another 4, 5, 6 hours and I have to edit this show, right? No, the information is there. The content is there. And I highly encourage you, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, what you're trying to sell online, what you're trying to promote, what your message is, what you're trying to teach, just do it. Just go live and share it with your audience. And the other benefit to that is these platforms really love live content right now, because remember, they're competing with the attention from Netflix, from TV, from podcasts, from all these other social media platforms and everything. So when you go live on their platform, you are creating fresh content, and content that the audience on the platform is going to spend a longer time watching. So that's why it's important to just be willing to go live. And again, there is no editing. And if you have any questions related to either online business or creating your content, getting your word out, whatever the message is, growing your audience and those things, please feel free to message me. The page is up here. Of course, you can email me all the contact information. As you can see in the bottom left of this video, the @ handle, that is where you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me many places using that. That's my name. There aren't too many of those people in the world, right? So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And of course, these topics are fun to me and I enjoy speaking about it. And again, I followed my tips, my 5 tips. And how did I become comfortable doing this? Because there once was a time where I would never step before the camera to say anything, especially not live. I would never do it live. But really, by doing it over and over and over and over and over again, now it's just second nature to me, and it's very easy to do these videos. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to anything that you're building, and I look forward to your growth.